Hello everyone, welcome back to JiKook Diaries channel. Everyone keeps asking, is it just a coincidence? Or is it something much deeper? From small habits to cryptic confessions to moments too intimate to be ordinary, JiKook once again makes all the theories seem plausible. Everyone joked until the pieces started to fall into place. The same routine, the same space, a comfort too close to ignore. JiKook wasn't just a rumor, and after this, you'll understand why. News about JiKook always comes like a wave, sometimes calm, sometimes crashing hard, leaving everyone wondering what's really going on behind the camera. The headline this time sounds extreme, almost impossible to believe, and that's precisely why so many people can't stop talking about it. JiKook confirmed seems to be a collective cry of long-held curiosity. But like all stories about Jimin and Jungkook, the truth rarely comes in a straightforward and simple form. Since their debut, their relationship has always felt different. Not because of excessive touching or overt statements, but because of a natural comfort. JiKook never looked like two people trying to be close. They were just close. The way Jungkook stood slightly closer than the others, the way Jimin unconsciously turned his head toward Jungkook every time he laughed, or the way the silence between them felt meaningful. These little details are what keep fans building theories, piece by piece, until finally a larger narrative emerges that's hard to ignore. Rumors about them showering together or sleeping together often arise from contexts that are actually quite ordinary in the group's life. In the idol world, sharing spaces is not uncommon. Dorms, hotel rooms, dressing rooms, and even busy schedules often create boundaries of privacy that differ from those in everyday life. When two people have been together for years, emotional intimacy naturally grows. For JiKook, that togetherness feels like home. Safe, calm, and without pressure. What's often misunderstood is how fans interpret this closeness. Many jump to extreme conclusions, as if every moment together must have sensational significance. However, what Jimin and Jungkook demonstrate is a deep trust. A trust to be themselves without masks. A trust to be tired, quiet, or vulnerable in front of each other. In a work culture as demanding as the Korean entertainment industry, having one person who truly understands the rhythm of your life is invaluable. The question of, are there any photos? Also frequently arises. The answer always hangs between hope and reality. If there are truly private moments known only to the two of them, it's highly unlikely they've ever been documented for public consumption. Jimin and Jungkook are known for being very particular about boundaries. They can appear affectionate in front of the camera, but there's a line they never cross. That's precisely where many fans feel there's something real, because what's important isn't always on display. Sleeping together is often misunderstood. On many occasions, they've shared stories of sleeping in the same room because of exhaustion, long journeys, or simply wanting to talk until they fall asleep. There's no dramatic narrative involved, just two friends, or perhaps more, finding comfort in each other's presence. The way Jungkook talks about Jimin as a comforting presence, or the way Jimin describes Jungkook as a place to return to, paints a picture of a bond that's difficult to describe in simple words. What makes JiKook feel confirmed for many isn't visual evidence or direct confessions, but consistency. Year after year, their dynamic hasn't changed. Even when the cameras are off, stories from staff or incidental moments captured on camera always show the same pattern. They look out for each other. They read each other's moods. They're there for each other at just the right moment. A relationship like this isn't built overnight, and it can't be faked for mere fan service. In every comeback, every concert, every new piece of content, there's a small moment that sparks conversation again. A fleeting glance, a smile directed at only one person, or a spontaneous reaction that's too honest to script. Fans who have followed JiKook for a long time know all too well that feeling of, this is real, but we don't need to force them to explain it. In the end, stories of showering together, sleeping together, or secret photos will likely always remain a mystery. And perhaps that's how it should be. Not all relationships need to be proven by sensationalism. There are bonds strong enough to survive simply in silence, in small habits, in consistent presence. JiKook teaches us that true intimacy isn't always loud. Sometimes it lives in spaces we never see, but can always feel.
나 27.
너 왜 이렇게 젊어 보이냐?
아니 난 딱 액면가랑 맞아 얼굴이.
나도 21 액면가
And
맞아.
therein lies the power of their story, not in what can be explicitly confirmed, but in the emotions that continue to feel real. As long as Jimin and Jungkook continue to choose each other for each other, as they stand side by side, laugh together, and become each other's home, fans will continue to read between the lines, not to claim but to understand. Because perhaps, in this world of scrutiny, the most honest love and closeness are those never announced aloud. Ultimately, not every story needs a clear answer. Some relationships thrive on small habits, silences, and a sense of security that's never announced to the world. JiKook is one of them. We may never get the confirmation many hope for. There may be no photos, no grand confessions, no sentences that spell it all out. But what's always there is consistency, presence, the way they continue to choose each other, even when the camera demands nothing. And perhaps that's precisely the beauty of it. And maybe that's why JiKook continues to resonate so deeply. Their story doesn't rely on shock value or forced revelations, but on a quiet persistence that feels genuine. In a world where everything is dissected, labeled, and demanded to be explained, they remain soft in their consistency. They don't rush to clarify rumors, nor do they deny the closeness people see. Instead, they continue living within their own rhythm, allowing time and shared experience to speak for itself. Fans don't stay because of one viral moment or one headline. They stay because year after year, JiKook feels unchanged in essence. The laughter still sounds familiar. The comfort still feels mutual. The way they naturally gravitate toward each other hasn't faded with time or pressure. That kind of bond doesn't need defending, it simply exists. And perhaps that's the quiet confirmation many people feel. Not something shouted, not something proven, but something sensed. A connection that doesn't ask to be believed, only observed. JiKook reminds us that some relationships aren't meant to be solved like puzzles. They're meant to be felt, slowly, gently, and honestly just as they are. If you felt something while watching, a sense of warmth, a sense of calm, or even a sense of this feels real, then you're not alone. Many of us see the same things, feel the same things, and choose to cherish them without trying to sensationalize them. Thank you for watching until the end. If you believe that some of the most honest stories don't need to be announced out loud, don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next JiKook Diaries, where silence speaks louder than words.